Article 8. Mr. Adler.
I move that we recommend passage of Article 8.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second on Article 8. Any discussion on Article 8? Gene?
I would like to hold off the vote until we get a little additional feedback on the number of businesses they've talked to and vote just before the town meeting next Monday night.
So I have a procedural question. If we have a motion and a second on the table, can we defer that or retract it?
You'd have to table it.
Table it.
Well, I'd like to vote on it tonight. I think it should be done in open meeting.
Yeah, I agree, and we didn't tell the proponents that this was
No,
a
I understand. I
caveat,
was just
so
asking for the procedure, if that's the wish of the committee to table it.
Well, I think we asked them to do it. I think Hannah made it very clear that
Right.
she did, she asked them to do it.
How does that sound, Jim? We could reconsider
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just saying that
on Monday.
the question was asked, and I
Right.
just think,
To me, that was
Yeah.
more for informational purposes, though, for town meeting.
it wasn't stated that.
I thought that was, I mean, wasn't that information presented the last time? It's just representing the same information that was presented last time.
no, but the last time they did a very poor job talking. They talked with a few of the businesses. They didn't talk with some of the major businesses at the time. So that was one of the discussions.
I'm not sure
I don't
that
think that's
that's
the
accurate.
case.
I
I
thought-
think they had documentation.
Of
No,
quite a
they
few
did
that they
not.
had talked
No.
with.
Because I went myself and talked to the businesses.
I thought last
And they
time there
had
were
talked
some
through
holes.
some phone
No, yeah, there was
calls. They
clearly
had
some
talked
holes, but I
to
don't think it's.
some small restaurants.
Well, then, Gene, maybe you can report and let us know what they said. I mean, we could certainly reconsider it Monday night before town
I
meeting.
have
so
no
I'd say we
problem.
should vote
I'm
on
not
that.
against it. I thought the question was asked,
Yeah.
that they were going to gather more information from the businesses. That's what I understood the question was.
I agree, it was. I'm not sure if that was contingent on our recommendation,
Yeah,
though,
okay.
that information.
Fine.
John Jova?
No, I was just gonna say, last time, when they came to us, they had not talked to a lot of the businesses, but by the time, I'll make up some numbers, they had talked to like 40% of the businesses, but by the time the town meeting rolled around, they had.
That's what I was referring to as
75%.
Yes,
a town
quite a
meeting,
few, yes,
not
by town
being on the
meeting.
committee at
Sometimes
that
we
Yeah,
time.
do.
quite a few. I was impressed
We
with
get
the
mixed
number
up
they
from
actually
one
talked to.
meeting to the other. Mark?
And to Hannah's point earlier, I see the purpose of talking to those businesses is to inform them of how the regulation is going to be and how it's going to work, not necessarily to see if they're okay with it. We're regulating them. They aren't regulating us. So we get to decide if this is going to happen. We can certainly get their feedback, and I think that's what these guys have done. They've gone out to a lot of businesses and got a lot of feedback about what's good and what's bad about this. But we don't need to get a poll of everyone being regulated to see if this is a good or a bad regulation. It's just we have enough time, and Hannah's very concerned, and I think rightly so, that they need to know how this is going to be implemented and how it's going to affect.
Well, that's my concern with this, is the implementation of it and who's taking on this responsibility. I still think there's some holes in this bylaw that, I'm not sure that I'm quite comfortable to,
But the Board of Health-
conceptually, I'm okay with banning expanded polystyrene.
But I think the gentleman said that they met with the Board of Health and that the Board of Health voted in favor of that. And part of the issue was, I believe that that's what he said, that the Board of Health had voted to approve this.
Yes, they did.
And that was part of the reason why it went back to the Board of Health, is because a lot of it was going to be falling on their shoulders. And so therefore, if that was why they were called back, and if the Board of Health voted in favor of it, then I would assume that from what they said also is that the Board of Health was okay with working with and communicating with and educating, as he said, the businesses.
That portion
So-
of it, but not the direct implementation, handling the hardships, the deferrals, handling the penalties. I'm not sure that the Board of Health said that they were willing to take on that portion of
I
it.
believe he said that they weren't, if I understood him correctly. But what do we do? But I think also it was clearly stated that it's the same language that was for the bag restriction. So, I mean, not allowing bags. So it's the same process. So today, if someone's violating the bags, the town,
Manager's office handles it.
and would that be the process with this?
I would think so, yes.
Is that something you're comfortable with?
Yeah, I mean, we can handle the enforcement of the bylaw if it passes.
And how would the deferment or the appeal process work in terms of the hardship?
We would probably set up the same process as the bylaw process, where they have to, prove in accordance with the bylaw what their hardship is and reviewed on a case-by-case basis. It's a 6-month, one-time deferment.
Okay. Okay, very good. Any other discussion? There being none, all those in favor of Article 8 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And I am still a little bit uncomfortable with this, so I'm not ready to move forward. So 7-1, the motion passes.